Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about the top 5 games that were honestly huge disappointments. And that sucks because looking back on 2022, it was an amazing year for games. And these were all 5 games I was looking forward to. Unfortunately, though, they kind of just, to put it lightly, instead of making me feel, fuck yes, they made me feel like, oh god, why? So, let's talk about them. Alright, number 1 on that list, might as well get it out of the way, is Overwatch 2. And there's no reason this game should exist. What I mean by that is that there's no reason to have created an Overwatch 2. The gameplay is still the exact same. The campaign mode that was originally promised is being delayed until sometime next year. So the big thing that was going to separate Overwatch 2 from Overwatch 1 didn't release with it. And it's been like 2-3 months now since the game came out. The only reason this game was actually made, and I will die on this hill, was to rework the monetization system. Because loot boxes are bad, so we gotta replace it with something that's gonna make even more money than that. A battle pass. Not just any battle pass, though. The worst battle pass that I've ever seen in gaming. It is awful. You don't earn anything. Other games, like Fortnite, have perfected the battle pass. You buy it, and as you play through it, you unlock a lot more content, and you unlock V-Bucks so you can buy the next battle pass. So you don't have to keep buying it. And that's so funny that this game has was one of the most profitable games, free-to-play games, in the market. And their battle pass is essentially, you buy it once, you play enough, you can get the next one for free. Overwatch doesn't do that, though. On top of that, it has some of the most outrageous prices for cosmetics. And a lot of people like to defend it. Oh, you know, if you don't want to buy anything, you don't have to. Overwatch's whole point, at least, no, I shouldn't say the whole point. One of the biggest things about Overwatch that I loved was buying new skins and cosmetics. And I can't do that anymore unless I shell out $20 fucking dollars. Pardon my French. But absolutely not. No, this game should not have ever been released in this way. It needs to be completely reworked, allow us to earn enough points to buy skins that we want, lower the prices of skins by at least half, and give us that gosh darn single player campaign. Overall, right now, Overwatch 2 is a dumpster fire, and I could go on and on about how bad it is, but I already made a video on that, so let's hit up the next one. Next on that list is Mario Strikers Battle League. I love Mario Strikers. I had so much fun playing the GameCube version, and it's in fact one of the very few sports games that I really enjoy. Yes, it's a Mario game, but still, I get to shoot a fiery soccer ball at people. That's awesome. My brother and I played this all the time growing up. I never got to play the Wii one, but, you know, the GameCube one was honestly the best I could have asked for. So when the Switch version came out, I was excited. I was ready to go. And it was released bare bones. Barely any content, very few characters, very few stages. The gameplay even just felt, for lack of a better term, wrong. Like, it just felt bad to play. Not only that, you couldn't play up to 4 people in the same freaking household against people online. It follows the trend of a lot of Nintendo games releasing sports games with no content. And then they just say, hey, we'll add some more later on. That's bullshit. Imagine going to Taco Bell and be like, hey, you want that 5-layer burrito? Cool, we gave you the first 2 layers, just hang around the store for a little while and we'll give you the 3 after I'm done eating it. I love Taco Bell, if you didn't know that. The game, honestly, is just... Nintendo needs to recognize you cannot charge $60 for a game with bare bones content and then expect you to just give free content later down the line. Because guess what? If for some reason the Nintendo Switch is completely shut down, then all those updates are gone. They're not on the freaking cartridge. So it was a giant letdown, and honestly, I haven't touched it. I may have played for about like 2-3 hours, and I just had no desire to play it. So I went back to the GameCube one, and that game is still to this day fire. Number 3 on this list is Dragon Ball The Breakers. Now, this game, honestly, I really enjoyed playing it for the first, 5-6 hours. The game essentially is Dead by Daylight, but with Dragon Ball characters. A really cool premise. Too bad it just gets worse the longer you play it. And what I mean by that is, at first I felt like I was constantly unlocking things, the gameplay was fun, I was learning how to play as the survivor, as well as the raider is what they call the character, either Cell, Majin Buu, or Frieza. I personally loved playing as Frieza and trying to channel my inner Frieza from Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Hello, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Frieza, and we're a traveling improv group. Here, let me give you a demonstration. My men shall play a group of drunken sailors, and you're a bunch of baby seals. And go. And scene.
It was great. Now, the issue is that after a while, the battle pass came to an absolute grind. And I just couldn't unlock anything. After hours of playing, I may have gotten like 1 or 2 levels. And my goal was to get to level 50 to unlock the special farmer skin. The one from the very first episode of Dragon Ball Z. And it was awful to see, like, the more and more I played. I think I got to level like 22 in the battle pass, and I was not even halfway. And they give you the option to buy into that to like go up to the next level that you want. But it was so much money. On top of this, the game features gacha mechanics, skills and costumes for your character. Now, you can't unlock them through like using your in-game coins. You have to use the coins to play a gacha system, and sometimes you'll get duplicates. And guess what? Tough shit. You're out of luck. The game had the audacity to charge $20 for a free-to-play style gacha mechanic. But see, I was the idiot and bought the physical copy for $30. Tell me how that makes sense. If the game, for some reason, the servers crash, they decide to drop the game completely, my physical copy that I have sitting over on that shelf is useless. Absolutely useless. Kind of like what I did with the Overwatch 1 disc right before Overwatch 2 came out. It's a game that they've continued to add content for, and that is awesome. I haven't played it in like 2 months, but I want to hop back in one of these days. It's just a game that unfortunately did disappoint me as the time has gone on. Number 4 on this list is MultiVersus. Now, MultiVersus is essentially Warner Brothers' version of Smash Bros. It is a little bit different in its fighting mechanics, but essentially that's the point. Now, I was super excited for it. And then they announced it's free to play. And you know what that means? Microtransactions out the ass. And essentially that's how I felt with the game. Because I would much rather have paid like $40, because I feel like that's how much the game should be worth, and just unlock all the characters up front and allow me to learn each one and play the characters that I like, and then essentially play to unlock credits to unlock costumes for them. That is not how this game is done. It is essentially a free-to-play game that you unlock a few characters, and then there's a rotating roster they give you access to. You can grind to get enough in-game currency to buy said character, and after I did that, I just felt dirty. Like, I spent so much to unlock Batman and Shaggy, because, Ultra Instinct Shaggy is an absolute monster. The game honestly had great potential, and a lot of people were talking about it when it first came out, and a lot of streamers that I follow love the game. It's just that after a while, I just got tired of the grind. Free-to-play games, yes, they are free. You can play without having to pay anything for it, but you need to have some type of features, some type of gameplay loop that incentivizes your players to keep playing the game. And when you don't have that, the game just becomes a grind. And too many free-to-play games, unfortunately, fall to that. So, unfortunately, this game I haven't touched in a while, and I've heard it's been on the decline. Now, I haven't looked into that to confirm it, but it doesn't matter to me. My time with the game has passed. Now, finally, I feel like this may have been one of my biggest disappointments, alongside Overwatch 2, but that would be Digimon Survive. Now, I enjoyed Digimon. I'm much more of a Pokemon fan, but I do love me some Digimon. I grew up on it, and I'm always up for trying out the next new Digimon game. And this one seemed super cool. A tactical-based RPG with a heavy focus on a narrative. And that narrative is dark as hell. Like, oh god, it's about like an emo kid falling to the dark lake, kind of dark. No, that was an awful joke. I'm sorry. But unfortunately, the game focuses too much on that narrative by making essentially 90% of the game visual novel. I have always been that guy that gets tricked by games where I see a cover of a game, I'm like, ooh, this game looks super cool. But then I turn it around and realize it's a visual novel, and I'm like, darn. It's just not for me. And so, you know what? I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. It's got some tactical-based RPG mechanics. So, what? How bad could it really be? It's bad. It's so bad. The game is essentially 90% visual novel and about 10% tactics gameplay. So you're going to be doing an awful lot of reading and button clicking, getting through each individual section. Now, here's the thing. If the story is super good, I was like, you know what, I can push through it. And really, this game felt like a darker version of the original Digimon anime, and that seemed awesome. I was all for it. But as I was beginning to play, I realized this was not going to be a fun experience. First and foremost, there was no option for a dub English voice. So the game was entirely, the bits that were voiced, and there was a lot of actual voiced lines, were mostly Japanese. And, well, I shouldn't say mostly, they were all Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. So me having to read all these lines, I'm not gonna lie, I get tired when I read a lot. So it made me sleepy. And I remember falling asleep so many times playing this game because I would just read and read and read. You will go hours without playing any type of actual gameplay. And I just kept thinking, man, if there were some English voice lines, I might have actually got into it. I did look into some spoilers about what happens a little bit further in the game, and I was thinking, holy shit, this is dark. This is absolutely everything I could have wanted. A more adult, dark storyline for a Digimon game. It just, why did they make it a visual novel? The problem, and the biggest problem, was that the game was not marketed as a mainly visual novel game. The only trailer, or I guess the biggest trailer that was released in the US, focused heavily on the tactics RPG elements of the game, with a little bit of the visual novel. So a lot of people bought the game thinking they were going to get like a 50-50 mix, but turning out it was mostly visual novel. It pissed off a lot of people, and that's understandable. It wasn't marketed properly. And to be honest with you, this game would have done a lot better financially and commercially if they had just focused on the combat. And I'm so sick of games made in the East, in that section of the world, not giving a voice acting for different languages. There's so many anime games that I bought that I was hoping to play that only have the sub and Japanese voice actors, and that just turns me off from a game completely. I need to hear it in my language. I understand there are purists out there that will disagree with me, but that's just how I feel. Can't watch subbed anime either. It just... I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for that one. But hey, that's my list of the top 5 games that disappointed me in 2022. Let me know what yours were in the comments down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers. That's the next goal. If you want to help me out, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and tell me how awful my choices were, or tell me how great my choices were. Just, honestly, at this point, I just want a conversation. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.